When inserting pictures into your Word documents, on occasion you may want to change up the way text wraps around those images. If it's an odd shape, you may want it to wrap around the shape of the object, or maybe perfectly square, or maybe only above and below. These are all options that you can apply, and that's what we're going to do with our Best of Landon Hotel guide here, LH Guide 0903 if you need to get caught up. We're actually going to go to page 2 and click right before the heading See and Be Seen in the West End. We're going to insert another picture here, so we'll go to the Insert tab, click Pictures. I've added a new one for you called Phone Booths. Give it a click and click Insert. And you can see it's inserted right here at the top of the page. And by default, if you were following along in the previous movie, you know that it is automatically in line with text. And if we go to the position drop-down, you can see that we have those options for text wrapping that appear here. And as we hover over them, you can see things start to change. But another option is to go to the text wrap drop-down. And from here, you can choose options like square, for example, or tight, through, top and bottom. Well, let's adjust our image first and then go through these again and see what happens. I'm going to go to the top right corner here and just resize this by dragging it down a little bit. And you can see it is in line with text. There it is, right before the S in See and Be Seen. And we're going to go back to that text wrap drop down now and try square. Now you can kind of see in the background the text is wrapping around it on the right side and at the bottom. And that's because the image itself is on the left side. If we go to tight, it's even tighter, closer to the edge of the graphic. Through is a little bit different, and it doesn't really apply to this because there are no holes in our image, but we could have text going right through the image itself. Any areas where there was no image at all, like if we were to remove a background, you would see it in there. Top and bottom is another option. It'll only appear above and below the image. Behind text makes no sense. You can see it's really hard to read that text, but in some cases, depending on the image, this is a great option. In front of text, again, makes no sense because you can't read what's in behind. So let's go back to the position drop-down and choose top center here. Give it a click. You can see what happens. Things are wrapping around the left, the right, the bottom. As we move this down, though, you can see now we can place it right in the middle, and text is wrapping around all four sides of our image. If we go back to the text wrap and we only want text to appear above or below, that would be the top and bottom option. You can see what that looks like. Or if you wanted it to be tight, you can see it's even tighter than the square itself that has a little extra space. We can even edit the wrap points if we wanted to. You can see fixed position on page is what's checked off now since we changed it from inline text to one of those options where it appears on the page, a fixed position on the page. But we can change it back to move with text, which creates in line with text as well. So let's go to top and bottom, give that a click. And now let's just move it around a little bit. You can see text will only appear above and below, and we could place it in a spot, let's say right here, for example, where it's perfectly in between a couple of paragraphs. Let's resize this back up. Let's grab the right handle at the top corner and do the same over here on the left. So we get it to about the same width as our margins. And let's just move it up now, right above the title. You can see how it gets pushed down below. And I think right about there is a good spot for it. We'll deselect by clicking in the background to get a good view. So remember, you have all of these options. As soon as your content is no longer attached to the image, in other words, your image is not in line with text, you can start wrapping text around using a number of different options here in Word 2016.